What's up, everyone? Matt Kane here from Kane's Corner. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you follow on Instagram, Kane's Corner Sports, and Maddie Kane 105. And make sure you follow me on Twitter, also Maddie Kane 105. Again, make sure you subscribe, follow on Instagram, follow on Twitter. Let's get on to the program. Welcome back to Kane's Corner on this beautiful Wednesday afternoon. I am Matt Kane, here to bring you all the latest and hottest topics in sports. We are at an interesting point when it comes to sports. The NBA is in the offseason. The NHL finished up there in the offseason. The NFL, well, that's kind of heating up with training camps coming along soon. Madden ratings are out. We'll be talking about that in a short period of time. But we also, with the MLB, that is kind of at the peak point. We're at the All-Star game. We're at the Home Run Derby. It's interesting things to watch. Also just came out The Captain, the Derek Jeter docuseries. That will be talked about today. So we have our ranging from a lot of different sports on today's show. We're going to be starting with the MLB. You'll look to the right of me. You'll see the list that's going on today. But we're starting with the MLB and some Derek Jeter. Then we are heading into Jimmy Garoppolo. And to finish it off, I'm just going over some lovely, lovely Madden ratings. You know, I say I'm not going to talk about Madden, but I do every year, and I probably will next year too. But before I do that, make sure you hit the subscribe button, as always, and we are going to be heading into the Jersey of the Day. I thought this would be a good choice for today. I know I said I have my New Jersey Edward, but I thought it'd be a good choice today to wear a baseball jersey. It's the only baseball jersey I have, and it was free. It's Jackie Robinson Dodgers. It's just a simple Jackie Robinson Dodgers. It's technically not really a baseball jersey, but I did get this when I was in LA. I went to a baseball game with my roommates Connor and Matt. We went to a Dodgers-Reds baseball game pretty early on in the season, and it was Jackie Robinson Day, the day we went. It was a great game. Dodgers won it. Of course, it's the Reds. I mean, the Reds are probably one of the worst teams in the MLB with the Washington Nationals. But, I just decided to wear this jersey because why not? This is probably the only time I'll talk about baseball in a pretty while. I talked about Clayton Kershaw earlier in the show. I want to say around April. Now I'm going to be heading into another baseball topic, but it doesn't have anything to do with baseball, what's going on now. The Derek Jeter docuseries called The Captain came out yesterday, and I will say that I enjoyed watching it. Now, I'm not a huge baseball fan. I just never got into it, but I used to be a baseball fan, and I was a baseball fan because of Derek Jeter, so it's really cool to see this, to watch this, and to kind of bring back memories of me as a kid. I love Derek Jeter. That's when I liked the New York Yankees. When Jeter retired, it started to fizzle out, but I love Derek Jeter, and watching this just brought back a bunch of memories of Derek Jeter and why I love Derek Jeter. Derek Jeter was just a really cool guy, and I think you realize that early on in this docu-series. I think it's very well. The first episode was very well run. I thought the choices of how the story is unraveling was perfect. And I'm interested to see the next episode on Thursday. But with Derek Jeter, he was a very cool guy, and he was just a staple in the New York Yankees organization. Derek Jeter was not the greatest baseball player to play, and I know I'm telling you here, and I'm sure baseball fans around the country don't really care for what I have to say about baseball, but I know that Derek Jeter was not one of the best baseball players. But what Derek Jeter had was he had that personality. He was that cool guy. By no means was he a Michael Jordan of the sport. You know, a lot of people are comparing this docu-series to The Last Dance with Michael Jordan. No reason to compare it because Derek Jeter was not Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was the GOAT. Derek Jeter was a star. Derek Jeter is a staple of the New York Yankees organization, an organization that has so many great players when it comes to Babe Ruth, Alex Rodriguez, Mickey Mantle, so on and so forth. Derek Jeter is really, to me, Derek Jeter is just that staple of the New York Yankees organization. And it brought back simpler times where I didn't hate Yankee dialogue where they were going to, oh, we're going to win the World Series. We're the best team. This player's the best player. I didn't hate it because I love Derek Jeter. And I can't wait to see what the captain, the next episodes bring out and how this docuseries unfolds. I just think it's very interesting to go through Derek Jeter's career because Derek Jeter was not, to my understanding, Derek Jeter was not a guy who shared news on social media. Now, social media was totally different when he was the best player in the league and he was coming up, but Derek Jeter was no Aaron Rodgers. He was no Kevin Durant. He was none of these guys that were drama queens that shared everything about their life on social media. Derek Jeter, to my understanding, is a hard cookie to crack with reporters, journalists who want to interview him and want to learn about him. That's what I heard. That's what I read online. But Derek Jeter was just he was a cool guy and a staple of the New York Yankees organization. I think that's what we're learning in this docuseries. Heading over to some NFL. Jimmy Garoppolo. You haven't heard that name in a while, I'm sure. But Jimmy Garoppolo is probably the last quarterback left that was supposed to get moved that hasn't been moved. Now, we've seen moves like Tyrod Taylor to the New York Giants, Mitch Trubisky to the Pittsburgh Steelers. We've seen Russell Wilson to the Denver Broncos. We've seen Aaron Rodgers sticking with the Green Bay Packers. We've seen a plethora of moves this past offseason, but one player that we haven't seen has been Jimmy Garoppolo, and that could possibly be because of his injury. That could possibly be because of the quarterback need and how that really unfolded. Now, Jimmy Garoppolo, he is a winner. And I think that's what people are forgetting. Jimmy Garoppolo was the quarterback who took the San Francisco 49ers to the Super Bowl. Now, I know Jimmy Garoppolo isn't the most talented player. He isn't the best player, and he probably wasn't the biggest reason why they made it to the Super Bowl, but he is a guy who could win you games, and he is a guy that could take you places. This past playoffs, he went into Dallas. They won. Went into Green Bay. 49ers won. Even though Jimmy Garoppolo really didn't do much in that game. They scored 13 points. It was really the more of the defense / Packers problems. But still, he wins games. Now, he is a sitting duck in the San Francisco 49ers organization that it looks like nobody wants. Now, what I've heard is Steve Young said that the 49ers could possibly cut Jimmy Garoppolo. But you don't want to do that. That is not ideal. Now, Jimmy Garoppolo, we just saw Baker Mayfield be traded for a 5th-round pick. I do believe Jimmy Garoppolo can be traded for something more of that, maybe a 3rd-round pick at best, a 2nd-round pick at best, to see, depending on what teams and depending on his health. I think Jimmy Garoppolo, as news starts to unfold and as we're seeing a lot of different things going on in the media and news is circulating, I do believe that Jimmy Garoppolo won't be a San Francisco 49ers quarterback to start week 1, which means Trey Lance will be starting. After Garoppolo wasn't traded in this past offseason early on, I thought Jimmy Garoppolo would probably be a San Francisco 49er to start the season out next year, and maybe he will fizzle out towards the trade deadline and Trey Lance would start for them. But as I'm seeing things unfold and I'm seeing days and days go by with no news and very little news with everything that's going on, I'm starting to believe that Jimmy Garoppolo won't be a San Francisco 49er. There's no confirmation. There's no rally around Jimmy from this coaching staff. that I feel, and after that, this past offseason with his little spiel about requesting a trade and requesting to be off the San Francisco 49ers roster, I feel like they have to get rid of him one way or another. Now, I think Jimmy Garoppolo, at the end of the day, I think Jimmy Garoppolo is better than a lot of starting quarterbacks. I think Jimmy Garoppolo could fit in many different places where teams need a winner. Now, those teams where I think probably the best destination would be for Jimmy, and what I've seen, is the Seattle Seahawks. I don't like the Seattle Seahawks fit, but they do need a quarterback, and I think that they'd be in the running for Jimmy. However, I don't think the San Francisco 49ers would trade Jimmy Garoppolo to the Seattle Seahawks unless they were that desperate. I think if the Seahawks want to get Jimmy Garoppolo, they're going to have to look to see if Jimmy Garoppolo will ever be cut and make a move that way. A team where I think the fit is best, and I think Jimmy would flourish in, is the New York Giants organization. Now, I understand that they just brought in Tyrod Taylor to contend for Daniel Jones. But with the Giants' moves this past offseason, they brought in Brian Daboll, who I think was one of the best coaching hires in this offseason, and who I think is a very great offensive mind who's worked with Josh Allen for the past 3 to 4 years, and really transformed that player. I think if you're Brian Daboll, you want to bring in a better quarterback, and maybe you try with Daniel Jones for a couple weeks and that doesn't work. Maybe you go out for Jimmy Garoppolo. But if you're adding Jimmy Garoppolo, what you're going to add is a winner. Jimmy Garoppolo can go out and win you games. And with the Giants, they're in a division that is very uncertain. Now, what I mean by it's very uncertain is, sure, the Eagles have a very talented roster, and I have them winning the NFC East, but they can easily flutter out because that's all dependent on Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts can go out there and have a very bad year, which I don't think he will, but he can have a very bad year, and they could flutter out of contention. Dallas is a huge question mark in my opinion. Dak Prescott doesn't have Amari Cooper. He's got CeeDee Lamb, Jalen Tolbert, and James Washington until Michael Gallup comes back. Now, of course, he has Dalton Schultz, Tony Pollard, and Ezekiel Elliott, but will that offense still be as great as it once was last year, the year before that? I don't know. There's question there. Sure, the defense is great, but no team is going to win football games if they don't have a good offense. We're in an offensive era, and no team's going to win football games if they don't have an offense. All right, now let's talk about Washington Commanders. Carson Wentz is their quarterback. Do I need to say anything else? Their defense had a great 2020. They had a great 2020. 2021, lackluster. 2022, what are they going to do? Sure, that defense can totally go back to 2020 version of them, but they can also go back to 2021 version of them last year. And that offense, Carson Wentz is underrated. I will say that. He gets so much hate. And sure, he makes awful decisions. He loses the worst games he could possibly lose. But he's a good player. He's not great. He's not amazing. He's decent. He's good. I think he can work around an offense. An offense that provides him weapons and a defense that plays good. Now, sure, you could say that that's Indianapolis Colts. But the Indianapolis Colts were this close to getting a wild card. I might be biased. I love Wentz. Huge fan of his. But I think Carson Wentz is a decent quarterback. I'm just worried about the weapons around him. Now, Terry McLaurin is the best receiver that he's ever played with since Alshon Jeffrey. But who else? Rookie Jahan Dotson? Are you going to trust him? Logan Thomas? Logan Thomas is a beast, big body. But is Carson going to deliver to him? Antonio Gibson, J.D. McKissick, Brian Robinson. Is that going to be a healthy and productive enough backfield for the Commanders? I don't know. If I had to go give you my predictions, they stay the same. I think Eagles are going to be good. They're going to win it. Dallas is going to be very close with the Eagles. They're going to be a wild card team. And the Commanders are just going to be outside of the wild card, looking in. Now, if the Giants acquire Jimmy Garoppolo, I think that they have a chance to be a wild card team. What Jimmy Garoppolo can come in and do, I understand they don't have the best wide receiver core. Kenny Golladay was much better in Detroit. Sterling Shepard has his days. Kadarius Toney, very talented, but does he have the mental capacity to play? Is he mentally tough enough to be the wide receiver of the New York Giants? I think Jimmy Garoppolo will go in there and he'll change the culture. He's a leader. They'll rally around him. And if you get a healthy enough Saquon Barkley in that backfield, I think the New York Giants can slide into a wild card. Sure, the Vikings are great. Like I said, Cowboys, they can be in there. Eagles, 49ers can also be in there. But that's, Trey Lance is good. Wherever Jimmy Garoppolo goes, I think that team, given that they don't give up much, is getting a steal. Quarterbacks are rare. You want a good quarterback. And if you're looking for a bridge guy, maybe you want to draft in a couple years. You want to draft next year. Maybe not next year, but a year after. Look for Jimmy Garoppolo to be your bridge guy. I think that'll be a fine bridge. And you can maybe get in some intention. You get some contention in there. All right, so every year the Madden ratings come out. Of course, I go in there, I read them, I make reactions. That's just normal, I'm there looking for the best information to find, looking for the best news, and I'll look at these Madden ratings. Now, the what I want to look at the most is what went wrong in Madden. What went wrong with these ratings? Now, I'm going to be looking at the wide receivers mainly. So, the wide receivers for 2023, they go as followed. Davante Adams, 99 overall. Cooper Kupp, 98. Tyreek Hill, 97. DeAndre Hopkins, 96. Stephon Diggs, 95. Justin Jefferson, 93. Mike Evans, 92. Terry McLaurin, 91. Keenan Allen, 91. And Amari Cooper, 90. The problem with Madden is they don't have consistency. What are you grading these players on? Because to me, what it looks like is you're telling me that DeAndre Hopkins, who was rated 98 at the start of Madden 22, he only went two ratings down to start out the year. Granted, I think DeAndre Hopkins is a top 5 wide receiver still. But really, after that year, granted he was hurt a lot, but still didn't have the best year of his career. Now, I was a curious mind, and I wanted to look at 2022 versus 2023 starting receivers ratings. So Madden 22 is Davante Adams at 99. He is still a 99. That's fine. I agree with it. DeAndre Hopkins was second, 98. He's a 96 right now and fourth. I think he should go a little lower. Tyreek Hill was a 98. He's a 97 now. That's fine. Stephon Diggs was a 97. He's a 95 now. That's interesting. I think Stephon Diggs should be at least a 96. I don't think he went down 2 overalls from what we saw 2 years ago. What we saw last year versus this year. I don't think he's 2 ratings down. Julio Jones was 5th. He's not seen. That's good. I'm glad he's not seen. Number 6 was Michael Thomas, 94 overall. He was not seen. Now, he missed the whole year. And he just plummeted out. But DeAndre Hopkins missed half of the year. And he only managed 2 ratings down. Interesting. Keenan Allen was 7th, 93 overall. Now Keenan Allen's 9th and 91 overall. Like that. Keenan Allen is a top 10 wide receiver. He should be on this list. Amari Cooper was 8th, 92 overall. Now he's 10th, 90 overall. Please get Amari Cooper out of here. Amari Cooper did not go 2 overalls down. I would say he went worse. Now, granted, Amari Cooper is a great receiver, but I think there's many, many different choices that you could have took to put a wide receiver better than Amari Cooper. But we'll move on. All right, 9th was Mike Evans, 91 overall. Now Mike Evans is a 92 overall. Okay. That I'm not going to make any complaints about that. And then finally, number 2 overall, Allen Robinson, 90 overall. He's not seen on this top 10 list, so I'm not looking. That's fine. He had an awful year. Now, if I had to fix these ratings, I think you need to bump up Justin Jefferson, bump down DeAndre Hopkins, bump down Amari Cooper, bring in Jamar Chase, and bump up Stephon Diggs by a little. See, what Madden does is it fails to consider any of the young players. I mean, a young star like Justin Jefferson breaking records last year, being a finalist for the Offensive Rookie of the Year, he's not seen in the top 10, and that was quickly a mistake. He's 96 overall right now, 94? And he was not even in the top 10 to start the year off last year. Now, Jamar Chase, best receiver, one of the best offensive rookie of the year. He won the Elroy, one of the best rookie receivers that we've seen in so long. He broke records because of it. He was not seen on this top 10 list. Now, I'm not preaching out here saying Jamar Chase needs to be a 96 overall. He needs to be a 95 overall. No, he just needs to be in that top 10. He needs to be, I'm pretty sure he's 18th on this list. He needs to be up there. He seriously needs to be up there. And also, put Cooper Kupp at 99. I didn't even mention that. Put Cooper Kupp at 99 and have 2 99s because Cooper Kupp just had the greatest receiver season in NFL history. So that's the receivers. I think there's a lot of problems there, but that's fine. Now, the last thing I saw that needs to be fixed is how the heck is Myles Garrett at 99 overall? Sorry, let me rephrase that. How the heck is Myles Garrett at 99 overall, but TJ Watt's at 96 overall? All right, let's talk about these. Let's talk about the stats. Myles Garrett versus TJ Watt. TJ Watt, 4 more interceptions. 21 more pass deflections. 11 more fumbles. Forced fumbles, of course. 20 more sacks. 90 more tackles. 70 more solo tackles. 15 more assisted tackles. And 20 more tackles for loss. A defensive player of the year. And TJ Watt's at 96 overall. No disrespect to Myles Garrett, but he is not TJ Watt. TJ Watt is better than Myles Garrett, and they should be switched. TJ Watt should be the 99 overall. Myles Garrett should be the 96 overall. They're both beasts, but TJ Watt's better. But there's no reason why TJ Watt shouldn't be number 1. Jamar Chase shouldn't be in the top 10. That's Madden for you. Next Madden year, we'll have the same conversation. But that's going to round up the episode. Kind of a different episode. Not too much news going on. Not a lot of news. We have some Juan Soto stuff, baseball. But that's going to round out the show today. Thank you for watching. As always, hit the subscribe button. And I'm not sure when you'll see me next. Probably in a week. I don't know. As news starts getting slower and slower, the the drive gets a little slower and slower because there's not a lot of stuff that I want to talk about and that I have a strong opinion on. But hopefully you'll see me next week. Hopefully something happens, maybe with Jimmy Garoppolo, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, Russell Westbrook. See you next time.